Have you ever stopped to wonder why humans cry? Not just from pain or irritation, but from deep, overwhelming emotions: grief, joy, even beauty. Animals may yelp in pain or whine for attention, but they don't shed tears the way we do. A dog won't cry at a sad movie, and a cat won't well up at a wedding. So why do we? What's happening in our bodies and brains when tears spill over? And what purpose does it serve? The science behind crying is far stranger and more fascinating than most people realize. Tears are more than just salty water. They're a complex biological response with different types for different situations. The most basic kind, basal tears, are always present, coating our eyes to keep them moist and protected from dust and bacteria. Without them, our vision would blur, and our eyes would feel like sandpaper. Then there are reflex tears, which flood our eyes when something irritates them. Think chopping onions, getting smoke in your face, or accidentally rubbing your eyes after handling something spicy. These tears are like an emergency rinse, trying to flush out whatever's causing the irritation. But the most mysterious tears of all are the emotional ones. These aren't just about lubrication or protection, they're tied directly to our feelings. And here's where things get really interesting. Emotional tears are chemically different from the others. Studies have found that they contain higher levels of stress hormones, like adrenocorticotropic hormone ACTH, and natural painkillers, such as leucine and kefalin. Some scientists believe this means crying is the body's way of physically removing stress chemicals, almost like sweating out toxins. It could explain why people often say they feel better after a good cry, because, in a way, they've literally released some of the emotional weight they were carrying. But if crying were just about stress relief, why don't we do it in private all the time? Why do we cry in front of others? This is where the social side of tears comes into play. Humans are deeply social creatures, and many researchers believe that emotional crying evolved as a form of nonverbal communication. A baby's cry is impossible to ignore. It's a survival mechanism, ensuring caregivers notice and respond to their needs. As adults, our tears might serve a similar purpose, just in a more subtle way. When someone sees you cry, their brain reacts with empathy. Studies using brain scans show that seeing tears activates areas linked to compassion and emotional connection, making people more likely to offer comfort. In this way, tears can act as a silent signal, a way of saying, "I need help," without uttering a single word. Then there's the puzzling phenomenon of happy tears. Why would positive emotions, overwhelming joy, relief, or even love, make us cry? One theory is that intense emotions, whether good or bad, can overload our nervous system, and crying acts as a kind of pressure valve, helping us return to equilibrium. Another idea is that tears of joy are linked to moments where we feel deeply connected or moved, like at a wedding, the birth of a child, or even an unexpectedly beautiful piece of music. In these cases, crying might be a physical response to something that feels almost too profound to process. Of course, not everyone cries the same amount. Some people tear up at the slightest emotional trigger, while others go years without shedding a tear. Personality plays a role. More sensitive or empathetic people tend to cry more easily, but so does culture. In some societies, crying is seen as a natural, healthy expression of emotion, while in others, it's discouraged, especially in men. Biology also factors in. Women, on average, cry more frequently than men, possibly due to hormonal differences like prolactin, a hormone linked to tear production. But regardless of how often it happens, crying is a universal human experience, something that connects us all. There's also the question of why we sometimes cry when we don't even expect it. Have you ever found yourself tearing up over something small, only to realize later that you were actually upset about something much bigger? Psychologists call this misattribution of emotion, where stress or sadness builds up beneath the surface until something minor, a drop plate, a sentimental commercial, triggers an unexpected release. It's as if the body decides, that's it, we're crying now, even if the immediate cause doesn't seem like a big deal. And let's not forget the physical aftermath of crying: the puffy eyes, the headache, the exhaustion. Why does crying sometimes leave us feeling drained? One reason is that strong emotions activate the sympathetic nervous system, the same system that kicks in during fight or flight responses. When the crying is over, the body has to reset, leading to that worn-out feeling. But despite the fatigue, most people report feeling emotionally lighter afterward, as if a burden has been lifted. So the next time you feel tears welling up, whether from sadness, frustration, happiness, or even exhaustion, remember that your body is doing something remarkable. Crying isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sophisticated biological and social tool, one that helps us process emotions, communicate with others, and even restore our mental balance. In a world where we often try to suppress our feelings, tears remind us that we're human, that we feel, that we connect, and that sometimes the best thing we can do is let it out. From the chemical makeup of tears to their role in human connection, the science of crying reveals just how complex and essential this seemingly simple act really is. It's a reminder that our bodies have their own ways of coping, healing, and reaching out even when words fail us. So if you ever need to cry, don't hold back. Your brain, your body, and maybe even the people around you might just thank you for it.
Hey there, if you're enjoying this video and appreciate the effort behind it, don't forget to like this video. It really helps the channel grow, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Oh, and one more thing, share this video with your friends. Spread the love and support. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Let me know if you want any tweaks.